Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, is the most untouchable man in tech. His own board fired him in November 2023. 5 days later, he was back and the board was gone. Elon Musk dragged him through federal court for 2 years, and just recently, the jury threw the case out in under 2 hours. Yet barely anyone is talking about the crypto project he quietly built 6 years ago to solve the one problem his own AI is now creating: proving that you're actually human online. That project is called World. The token sits 97% below its all-time high, and now seems like a great time to dig into World's origin story, how it works, the tokenomics, the real risks, and the exact millionaire math in 3 distinct scenarios. Let's get into World. This is not financial advice, always do your own research. Let's start with the problem World is trying to solve. Right now, the internet is being flooded with AI bots, fake accounts, deepfakes, automated trading systems, and it's becoming impossible to tell who is a real human and who isn't. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, the company literally building this AI, saw this coming back in 2019 and asked a simple question: how do we prove someone is actually human online? His solution was Worldcoin. You walk up to a device called the orb. It scans your iris, creates a unique digital ID tied to you and only you, and then deletes the raw image. They don't keep your photo, but only a mathematical proof that you exist and that you're human. That's your World ID. They were giving 25 World tokens for an iris scan initially, but as the user base kind of grew, now that has shrunk this number to 16 tokens. You simply show up, get scanned, and receive World tokens just for being a verified human. The long-term vision is essentially AI-funded universal basic income. Elon Musk goes even further with universal high income. And so the intention is that as AI generates more of the world's wealth, verified humans get a share of it. The project launched in July 2023, backed by Andreessen Horowitz and Bain Capital Crypto, and it actually rebranded from Worldcoin to simply World in October 2024, that is. Today, over 1,500 orbs are active across North America and South America, Europe and Asia. Official data says nearly 40 million people have joined the network, with roughly half being verified as proper humans. This data is from February, so these numbers are higher right now. Looking at the token, it trades at approximately 30 cents, with a market cap of around $1 billion and a fully diluted valuation of roughly $3 billion. It is up 30% in the last 10 days and broke out from the long descending channel, and that's pretty good. Now on to the tokenomics. World has a fixed maximum supply of 10 billion tokens. About 3.4 billion are currently in circulation, roughly 34% of total supply. The remaining 66% unlocks on a continuous daily schedule running all the way to 2038. Right now, approximately 5.1 million World tokens enter the market every single day through community grants, team allocations, and the Tools for Humanity reserves. At 30 cents, that's about $1.5 million of new supply hitting the market every 24 hours. But something significant is locked in for July 24th this year, just coming right up. A pre-coded on-chain mechanism is to cut daily emissions by 43%, dropping from 5.1 million to approximately 2.9 million tokens per day. Community unlocks are about to drop 50%, while team and investor unlocks drop 32%. But World has no burn mechanism. For the price to rise, demand must consistently outpace the supply. Yet, with the July cut actually arriving, that race gets meaningfully easier to win. Now, here's something most people covering World skip almost entirely: the actual proof of personhood product. The World ID credential, the iris scan, the human verification does not require the World token to function. When Zoom verifies that you're not a deepfake using World ID, no token changes hands. The cryptographic proof works independently, completely. World exists on top of that as an incentive layer, a governance token, a gas fee mechanism, and ultimately the instrument for the UBI vision, that's Universal Basic Income. But it's important to understand World ID, the product, could succeed while the World Token goes nowhere. Those are two separate bets. The token's value depends almost entirely on whether the UBI narrative and ecosystem demand actually materialize around it, so keep that in mind when sizing your position. In that sense, the numbers that matter most for World aren't on-chain TVL or DEX volume. They are in the real world, concerning the ecosystem growth. The project claims more than 18 million verified humans across more than 160 countries. It also has hundreds of orb locations, with expansion into the United States and other major markets. That matters because World is not trying to be just another token. Rather, it's aiming to become a global identity layer. Recent adoption headlines have made the project even louder too. World has announced partnerships and integrations with companies like Tinder, your favorite swiping machine, Zoom, DocuSign, Shopify, Okta, Versal. One of the newest ideas that I kind of find interesting is AgentKit, which helps AI agents prove that a human authorized their actions. That is a big deal because it connects World directly to the AI agent economy. There's also a product angle for consumer use. For example, World has launched tools for ticketing and other applications where bots and fake accounts typically create real problems, and you know that. But there's a second side to this story, guys. World Chain has not become a major DeFi hub. TVL is still relatively small, and activity has not kept up with the scale of the narrative. Transactions and active wallet counts have also come under pressure. So the project has real adoption, sure, but the chain itself still looks underbuilt compared with the actual hype around it. World also has some risks, and it would be unwise to neglect them. The first risk is the supply overhang. Even after the July 2026 cut, millions of tokens will still enter the market every day for years. That is a lot of pressure if demand slows down. The second risk is regulation, of course. World has faced pushback in several countries over biometric privacy concerns, and that limits how fast the project can expand and creates uncertainty around its long-term rollout. The third risk is weak chain performance. If World Chain does not develop real usage, then the token is left depending mostly on narrative. And the fourth risk is centralization. Tools for Humanity still controls the orb hardware and much of the verification infrastructure, which raises the questions about how decentralized this thing really is. So, in a nutshell, I would say World is a legit project, but it's also true that the upside depends on actual adoption. We're approaching my favorite part, the Millionaire Math, and to lay the groundwork for it, here's a bit on the price history of the World token. It launched in July 2023 at around $2 and dropped to $1 before going to almost $12 6 months later. Since then, the price has been in a consistent downtrend and it painfully dropped all the way to 22 cents. But in the last 10 days, it's been recovering to 30 cents, and that level will be the reference for our calculations. And now, here come the 3 scenarios that can see you a millionaire. Kicking off with the first one, the bear case, which reads $2 per token, and that's simply reclaiming the launch price, almost 7x from here, and a $20 billion fully diluted valuation. To reach the coveted million, you would need 500,000 World tokens, coming up at $150,000 today. Great ROI, but also requiring pretty solid capital. Coming right up is the base case, according to which one World token trades for $5, almost 17x from today, putting the FDV at $50 billion. You would need 200,000 tokens, costing around 60k today. And the third scenario, my bull case, calls for the incredible $12 per piece. That's World reclaiming its all-time high on fundamentally stronger footing than 2024. A 40x from here for a FDV of $120 billion. You would only need to buy a little over 83,000 World tokens, which will set you back some $25,000 today. Having outlined these scenarios in which World turns us into millionaires, one real question remains, and that's, can World actually succeed, and what if it does? The man building the most powerful AI in the world, Sam Altman, also built the only system designed to prove that you're not AI. With 18 million verified humans, integrations with Tinder, Zoom, and DocuSign, and an open AI IPO potentially worth $1 trillion on the horizon, World has one of the most compelling narratives in crypto right now. But narratives aren't token value per se, and you know that. World ID can win, and the World token can still lose. That's the bet you need to understand before you make it. Tell me what your take on World is now, guys, in the comments below, and make sure to also drop me some price targets so that I may possibly update mine too. If this breakdown helped you, hit the like button and subscribe to the airdrops.com channel. I'm Stan, and I thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Ciao.